a little video about all the hand tools to prove that anybody can do a little micro food farm. It doesn't take much, but again, there's enough topsoil here that I should be able to get my seeds covered making this. And this will help cover the seed. I'll go over this once or twice. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to be doing a little video on how I'm going to go about making a very small micro plot using all hand tools. And so the first step, I'm coming in and spraying. So you'll notice this little area. So I have clover along the back side of my big cornfield, right? Where there's just bare dirt, and I'm going to utilize that bare dirt to put a little brassica in here. I'm going to plant this all in radish. So just another layer of food to hopefully further my attraction. So basically I'm just going to come in here. I have my hand sprayer of glyphosate, and I'm just going to try to douse all of these weeds on this back row of dirt, and then it goes around this corner too. And I'll give it 2 weeks to die, and then I'll come in here and I'm going to rough this up with hand tools as well, and then we will plant this. And I'm going to start spraying a lot of this with my glyphosate, and we'll go from there. So here's the other little part. You can see it's really this whole back strip along the back of my corn and clover. And then there's this little corner. It's going to spray all these weeds with my glyphosate, give it 2 weeks, and I'm going to come in here with some hand tools and rough this up a little bit. It does not take much. I'm literally doing this all with hand tools to prove that anybody can do a little micro food plot. Okay, I've sprayed everything I wanted to with my little hand sprayer. I'm going to give this about 2 weeks to die. So if you're curious, this is just a little 1 gallon hand sprayer. Roundup glyphosate, the generic concentrate. I use 6 fluid ounces of glyphosate with just a squirt of Dawn dish soap for a little surfactant to help this stick to the weeds and plants that I'm trying to kill. In about 2 weeks, I'm going to come back here and see how well my coverage is. A lot of times I suggest using a little dye so you can kind of see where you have sprayed. But in this instance, I'm just out here with the basics. I'm trying to keep this as basic and simple so everybody, even beginners and entry level, can use this. So we'll see how the kill turns out in about 2 weeks. And then I'll be back in here with some hand tools, and we'll break this down together, put in a little sweat equity, and we'll see if we can't grow a nice little micro plot of brassicas before deer season. All right, it is getting a little late to be out here doing this, but I was busy doing another project earlier. But this has been 7 days after I sprayed back here with my hand sprayer, and things are looking pretty dead. You know, they're still kind of in the process of dying, and I was just back here and doing a little weed eating maintenance in my little clover plot, and I was going to take out some of this dead duff. So I'm going to do a little trimming back here to really clean it up. And you can see I got a really good kill. And 1 more week, I'm going to try to wait for a rainfall event. I'm going to get just in front of it and get back here and break up this ground. And then I will get to putting down some seed. But the clover looks absolutely beautiful. And the Egyptian wheat back here is kind of a plot breaker. It's thin here in the back, but it doesn't get as much sunlight, so to be expected. But it's going to look great, all from the redneck blind. That is going to be sitting up 100 yards top of the hill. This is going in here in about a week. Well, here we are 2 weeks after the spraying and trimming down the grass. And we got an awesome kill. Today, I'm coming in with some hand tools. I have regular industrial rake. I'm going to be doing some scratching with that. And then my secret weapon, my little hand chisel plow. And I'm going to be breaking up the ground with this. And I'm just looking to get this into a good seed bed for some radish and turnips. Now, what's a good seed bed? It depends on what you're planting. It will not take a whole lot for loose soil to sit in so they can soak in and get good seed to soil contact. But it just depends what you're planting for. Like if I was planting wheat and oats, which would be a good thing to plant if your pH is relatively lower. If you've never done a soil test, odds are your pH is lower. So growing rye and wheat and maybe oats is a great thing to put down, but those seeds need to really get covered, like I'd like to say at least a ½ inch. But if you're using small seeds like radish and turnip, they don't need much of a covering, like literally a kick of the dust. Sometimes people don't even cover them. I like to cover them just to keep the birds off them until they get enough water to germinate. I'll take you through how I'm gonna do this with my hand tools. I got a lot of work to do, so I know it's gonna take quite a bit of tearing this up, but again, I got a good kill, so it should make it a little bit easier. And all I'm doing is taking this space that didn't get used and gonna try to turn it into something green come later this fall. Let's get to work. So here's the difference in ground that has been slightly worked versus hard ground that has not been worked. It doesn't take much, but again, there's enough topsoil here that I should be able to get my seeds covered so they can grow. I'm gonna be doing that the remainder of this way. It's gonna take a little while with hand tools, but it is possible, and somebody who is willing and determined can have a very successful food plot in doing so. And time. Okay, well, that was about an hour of hand chisel plowing all of this dirt the whole distance and around the corner. And let me tell you, that wasn't very fun. Just plain being honest. But if you're determined and looking for a food plot, you'll do it. By hand, little hand chisel plow. And I think it turned out pretty good. This is gonna be absolutely perfect for what I'm after. You know, it's only so deep. So my next step in this is 100% ready for seed and fertilizer. So I'm gonna go get my seed, talk about for a second what I'm choosing to plant back here, get the fertilizer, and we'll broadcast this out. I'll say if you're going at this with hand tools, a little bit of moisture in the ground is your friend. Too much moisture in the ground might get a little tacky, a little bit hard to get that good fine seed bed that you're after. But just a little bit, there's just one little section over under where the shade is over here that held a little bit of moisture, which made the hand cultivating, made it that much easier. The really compact, hard, dry stuff, that was obviously a little bit of a pain in the butt. But nonetheless, it can be done. You just don't want it to be too wet when you're going about this. It's all just a little easier to do if the seed bed is just a little bit more dry, almost powdery to it, to where you can kick up a little dust. That makes it that much easier. Now I have my hand spreader and a box of seed. Today I'm going to be putting a couple of these tall tine tubers from Imperial Whitetail, turnips for deer, and I'm going to blend up and mix with some radish. I really like the Whitetail Institute product. I've had good luck with them in the past, so that's what I'm going with. And when I'm done, I'm going to top dress everything with about 3/4 of a bag of triple 13, just a good starter fertilizer. So that's my plan, and I'm going to make it all happen with this little baby hand spreader. So if you're planting brassicas, turnips and radishes belong in the brassica family. You got to remember that less is more with these guys. They like their space. So that being said, you don't want to overseed your plot, or what's going to happen is you're going to get a nice green carpet, but when the plants get about 4 or 5 inches tall, they're going to start turning that like lime yellow green because they're lacking nitrogen. They'll be competing with each other for nitrogen, and you won't get very big plants. So in here, less is more. Broadcasting these seeds, you know, you're going to have birds take some, turkeys take some, squirrels take some that just don't germinate, some that get planted too deep, some that might get washed off if we get a really hard rain. This 2.5 pound bag of radishes plants a 1/4 of an acre plot. Now this little strip back here and around the corner is nowhere near a 1/4 of an acre. This little strip plus around the corner is less than 1/10 of an acre for sure. So I'm gonna have to do a little math and figure out just how much seed I actually need. I also want to state that I'll probably go a little heavy, because just for good measure, I'm gonna broadcast a little bit into the corn, and if I get lucky, and any if it takes, it's bonus. Now I'm just going to take my fingers, give a good little stir here. Okay, time to start walking and broadcasting. All right, the seed is spread. I like to try to go everything down and back, and that'll usually do it on a slow spread of seed. And now I'm gonna do some fertilizer. So I'm gonna get this thing where it'll open all the way up, because it's just a little 5-pound spreader, and I probably got 25 pounds of triple 13 left in this bag. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll start broadcasting fertilizer. All right, everything is spread out. It's time for what I would say is the second to last step. And in this case, all hand tools. I am using a cedar branch I'm going to use to drag this seed, to cover it, to protect it from the birds and turkeys and squirrels, and to give a little bit more of a fighting chance to get that good seed to soil contact whenever this gets rain. Thankfully, there's a chance of rain tomorrow, so this is a perfect time to be out here doing this. So yeah, basically, it's as easy as it sounds. I'm gonna pick up this cedar branch that's got some bristles on it. I'm gonna drop it in the dirt, and I'm just gonna drag this plot over lightly. I'm not trying to do nothing crazy, but literally just this. And this will help cover the seeds. I'll go over this once or twice, and just kind of help cover the seeds that I can see in the ground. Like right here, you can see some radish seeds, the blue, if you can see it, some turnip seeds, and this is just going to help put a little dirt over top of some seeds. After you finish dragging the field, if you choose, you are done. You continue to just pray for rain and watch it grow. I will say, if you have a four-wheeler or something with tires, if you have the time and want to use your feet, I just don't have the time, I would suggest trying to pack it by either, typically these is roll it with your side-by-side or four-wheeler tires. But I only have myself, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to rely on the rain to suck the seed down now that it's been covered with a little bit of dirt, and grow from there. But I would definitely suggest it if you have the access to it. I just don't have anything with wheels today. We'll check back in a little bit later this fall, and we'll see how this thing turned out, see if it turned out to be worth a darn or not. It just goes to show, if you have nothing, you can still do something for deer, and it's just how much you're wanting to do. If you're looking to do a food plot by hand, hopefully this has helped you. Again, there's many tools and implements you can buy to make it easier, but for a guy who's on a budget or just wants to use what he has, it can be done. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.